Hi, this is Stephen Brower. This week we're going to take a look at Windows. The book will get into some of the um, underlying goals that the Windows team had and some general structure of Windows itself. What I wanted to do in this video was just give a very brief overview of some of the key features in Windows. Well, and some. This is meant to be very limited. One, just looking from the hard drive perspective. For those that haven't yet explored around the hard drive. Whoops. Let me get this. Um, okay. Um, by the way, one thing, you never should remove any files through this Windows Explorer. If you are going to remove software, you should go through the uninstall uh, um, program and through the control panel. Part of the reason is when software is installed, not only are files placed on the machine, but there also are files placed in the Windows and potentially the either system or System 32, depending on the operating system, folders. So the Windows folders, or Windows and the folders under it, would really be the collection or the bulk of the files, the EXEs and the DLLs, the dynamic link libraries, that make up Windows. And so when applications are installed, they will put some files in there as well. The path, and I will jump around a little bit. If we go into Control Panel and go to Administrative Tools, no, I'm sorry, System, I'll get this right, Advanced System Settings, Environment Variables. One of the idea of an environment variable is that it's a variable that is set within Windows, and applications can go and read the settings that are there. For example, for those that are using Java, class path is something that the compiler needs for when compiling to look for class files that's specific to Java. But the path file, it's when any program is being executed, it will look at the series of directories that are listed here to find what it's looking for. So the Windows and the System 32 and the system would be included in there as well, as whereas some other directories that other applications require. So when a program is installed, when a program is installed, which usually would be under program files or something like that, not only is some code being put on the hard drive in this point, but some common DLLs would be put here as well. One of the issues that does sometimes happen with Windows is if multiple copies of a DLL exist on the hard drive and they're different versions, when an application starts, it will take the DLL that it's in its subdirectory and bring that into memory. If another application starts, it looks in memory, it's already there, it uses that one. So if you have different versions of these DLLs, then programs can behave differently depending on what started before it. Okay, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I just wanted to point out a couple of things. While I'm here, by the way, in this Windows Explorer, if you notice, we don't see the menu up top, but if I hit the Alt key, the menu pops up, and if I do Tools, I can do Folder Options, and then in View, two of the options that I have set, or actually unset, which are not the default, is one, I don't have it checked to hide extensions for known file types, and that's why when peeking in and looking at folders on the computer, I actually will see the dot extension of what something is. The other thing is I have this setting, Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives, and by doing that, then I can see, I think I have one here. Oh no, I didn't. Let me just go and hide this, and we'll see that. So I just went and I hid this folder. The only reason why I'm seeing it is because I have that setting set to actually see hidden folders. There are other places in the drive where there are hidden folders, and the various software programs that have put them there are deliberately trying to keep us out of those folders. And so one more folder thing, since I'm talking about that in users, then for each account that would be set up on the machine, which for me right now I only have one, which is this the G number, there would be a series of folders under it, of which I had before this demo gone through and was doing a number of things, specifically in Windows Explorer and the control panel, things I was about to show in the video. In the back of my mind, I thought to myself, maybe the safe thing would be to restart the computer before I do this demo. I said, oh, no, I'll just forge ahead. What's the worst that could happen? That's the worst that could happen. Oh, where was I? Oh, yeah, I was trying to go into my folder and showing that, now if you notice this here is hidden, there is this app data folder. And so within my user account, there is within this app data, these different applications have written data to the hard drive, and it's stuff that they are using when they are running. When we install software, we also can say install it for everyone, for all users on the box, and then that would be either the public or the default, depending on which it is that we are using for one or the other, depending on what the thing is that's being installed. I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. One other thing I wanted to go into under administrative tools, and I want to go into computer management. But I strongly suggest you don't do this at home. Some of these things, one of the other things I'm going to do later is going to be extremely dangerous. Now, one of the things that's frustrating for me, I'm on my laptop that is managed by Raritan Valley, and there's a number of things I can't change and I can't control. For instance, under here we have in terms of local users. On my personal computer, I have guest disabled. And I also have the guest group disabled. By having the guest disabled, it is an extra security measure to prevent sort of outside intruders from coming in. And then yes, although if we do rely on things like the Windows firewall, even the firewall for the routers that run, etc., we don't necessarily have to be as worried about that. But I do want to point out that usually that this is turned off, and that is for a very good reason. Where this would be turned on is if you share a printer, then usually it'll try to automatically turn on the guest account. What I've done on my computer that I share the printer on, I still have the guest account turned off. I created an additional account, and when I connect from the other machine, I actually have to provide the ID password for connecting, but I'm a paranoid SOB. So anyway, just showing that from within here, there's certain things we can see the other users that are on the box. It's one other thing about the show, it's also available through the control panel, but since I'm in the screen anyway, and that would be the services that are on the computer. And services are, think of them as processes that will perform a certain task. And if we look at the startup type, some things start automatically. So when the computer boots, when we log into the computer, well actually, I'm sorry, when the computer's on or when we log in, then some of these things would be starting automatically for us. Other things are manual and will only start when we request them to start. In the old days when I was using Oracle in the box, I actually would see a number of instances of Oracle that were listed here in terms of the services. Anyway, just for those that are curious, now I'm not going to be able to actually start, but a lot of these things are also available from within. This is the list. I did net start, and these are the services that are currently started. So a lot of this can be done from the command line as well. Oops. I possibly should pause because I'm having trouble finding the thing I wanted. Let me pause. I should have written down a script. I very much apologize. I'm not even sure what I was thinking of, but while I'm here in the administrative tools, two other things I want to show. One are data sources. Now, for those that did take Foundations of Computer Science, one of the things that would have been set up is the use of the Access database, and we actually had to create a data source for that. And so that was done through this ODBC data source administrator. What these two represent here are the production databases. Never mind. Okay. One other thing that we have here is there is this task scheduler, and it's something that we actually can configure. And of course, depending on whether or not your administrator has given you the ability to do it or not. But things can actually be configured where you can say at a particular time, either every week, weekly, every day, or even just a particular date in the future, it can run a program. So for things that are not built in automatically as being automated, kind of like our antivirus software, usually we'll do a scan every day or look for updates either every day or every week. But we can automate other things as well, and the scheduler will allow us to do that. I know there's a lot here. Oh, the event viewer. And again, part of this also is depending on whether your administrator has these set up or not. But one of the things that you should be able to see would be these logs, which would indicate when things have happened, either good, bad, or indifferent, on the computer. And so I had this right here. This might be a good thing. Hey, Explorer crashed. So here I'm actually seeing that the log, oops, the error that I had received before in Windows Explorer is showing as being that it was trapped here, or made note of here, and that's the kind of thing that I could go in and take a closer look at what that error is and what caused it. But anyway, this event viewer is where we can see the different types of events or things that have happened on the computer. Was there something else? There's probably a handful of things. Oh, as I mentioned, oh no, this is it. Okay, what I'm about to do is extremely dangerous. For the love of God, don't do it. And that is, I made the comment before that if you want to uninstall software, you really want to go through the programs and features in the control panel and do the uninstall from there. Not only is it removing all the files on the hard drive, but the other thing it is doing, it is also making setting changes within. This is called the Hive. The H in the Hive stands for hierarchy. In the old days, we used a series of .ini files for settings. And what happens is a number of programs will have their settings within here as well. Regedit is the thing that I use to start it. You got to be extremely careful because you really can make your machine inoperable if you go and delete the wrong thing. So please, pretty please with sugar on top, if you do decide to use this, be extremely careful. And actually, since I have made so many stupid mistakes today, I'm going to exit that at this point. But the registry would then have a whole bunch of setting information. So when the application starts, they're looking into the registry, and it's something that Windows will maintain. In the old days, what we had were a series of, let's see if I can find it and make under the system ini was one of them. The win ini was another. For networking, there also was a protocol ini, but there were a series of these .ini files that were used. And then one of these text files, of course, they're sequential for reading, and being single files, it was very easy to mess things up. But the registry then is sort of a little more of a database. I'm 40-something seconds. I just butchered an introduction to Windows. I was just trying to point out more like a potpourri, a couple things here, there, everywhere, and as soon as I stop this, I'll probably think of 5 more things I should have done. All right.